Yes, hello everybody and welcome once again to The Brink, your favouriteest, most Brinkalicious podcast in the entire universe. I was going to say world, but I thought no, I'm going to go with universe because the universe is bigger than the world. And considering we haven't been here for a couple of weeks, had a bit of a break, we're back for our unlucky episode 13. Apparently it's unlucky, but we've got a bit of catching up to do. We've got lots to bring you today actually, and lots of people on this show. Excited. Get excited because you will be excited, and I like to say the word excited because I can tell you that since we last joined you, the people who are listening to this show, we always get excited about people listening to us in Mountain View. We've established that. Hello to all our Mountain View listeners. But the United States is taking off. They love us. They love us over there in the US, because I want to send a special shout out to our listeners in Honolulu, in Hawaii. Hello, never been there, but it looks beautiful, so g'day. And one place I have been, St. Paul in Minnesota. Hello to everybody listening to us from there. So just need to take this opportunity to give a bit of a shout out to those people, as we generally do at the beginning of these episodes. But just before we get into the swing of things, I know you want to hear from people. You're excited. You've heard that there's going to be guests on this show. So who are they, Ben? Get to them. I really want to hear them. Since we've last been on air, we, of course, have released some deleted scenes from The Brink Unleashed 6, the biggest film ever. Just released earlier this year. You love it. I know you've watched it 100 times. It's fantastic. But I want to play just a bit of a teaser, a snippet of a deleted scene for you to really whet your appetite. And we're just going to go straight into this and play. This is a clip from when I was in New Zealand with Nick. You heard Nick earlier this year, of course, when I was in New Zealand with him. This is me trying some local New Zealand cuisine. So this is just a snippet. You can catch all these on YouTube, but let's hear a little bit of this.
We are here in Pyro, that's the place. See, I'm not doing well. Home of LMP, as we just saw from out the front, but I've got my breakfast, but we've got an LMP chili and lime, which we're going to try, and kiwi LMP milkshake. Now, Nick, you've just tried this, and it was okay?
Yeah, not bad.
I'm going to try this first. I've only had LMP once. I wasn't impressed. But that was in Australia, so this is in New Zealand. Let's try this. It's got more flavour than the one I tasted last time, let's be honest with that. It's okay. I mean, it's brilliant, it's fantastic, I love it. This is chili and lime. How do you add a little kick to the good lemony stuff with LMP, with chili and lime? That's how. I can't want to read that. It's a lot better than the other one. Right, let's try this milkshake. Have you ever had an LMP milkshake?
No.
Okay.
That's the first.
I mean, you can. There's lemon there. You can taste it, but it's I guess I'm like expecting this really strong, like lemon, but it's like subtle lemon. Maybe that's what New Zealand is like. Subtle lemon. I'm more impressed with the kiwi, the great kiwi shake. So that's LMP. That's our experiences with it this morning. That's what you need to know.
Always fun to try local cuisine when you're travelling. So if you want to see that in its entirety, all the other ones from New Zealand, all the other deleted scenes from all the places that I ventured to at the end of last year, have to take this opportunity. At the beginning of the episode, head to our YouTube page, or you can head to our Facebook page. We've also tagged it on there. Easiest way for you to watch them. It's been a while since we've had this next person on the show. He was actually on our very first rebooted podcast episode, and also on a crap load of episodes before that, because he was the longest serving co-host ever on this program. You know him as Josh, and he hasn't actually changed his name. It's still Josh. Josh, welcome back to The Brink.
Thank you, Ben. How are you this evening?
Oh, look, can't complain. Here, talking to you, doing stuff. What about you? What are you doing now?
I'm sitting on my chair.
Cool.
That's what I'm doing. But saying that, I did see something quite cool on the interwebs, on the YouTubes today.
Was it a nicer chair or a different chair?
No, but something that I would definitely sit on its lap. It was Ryan Reynolds doing a beautiful... there was a leaked teaser trailer that they're showing in front of Logan. It's for Deadpool 2, and it is one of the funniest things that I've actually seen.
I saw that. I saw that it was leaked, but I haven't watched it yet. So
Watch it. I won't spoil it for you, but I thoroughly enjoy it, being the geek that I am. But speaking of which, you've seen Deadpool?
I watched Deadpool with you. I hadn't seen it until I was at your house.
That's right.
And we watched it. Yes.
That's right. I actually forgot about that.
Yeah. Well, it was. I mean, I enjoyed it. I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a lot different to what I was expecting. It's one of, I think, only 2 Marvel movies I've seen. I mean, I know it's not necessarily in the Marvel cinematic universe.
It's in the X-Men universe,
which are technically in the Marvel universe, but Fox won't let them.
No, it's Sony that own it.
I thought Sony had Spider-Man and just gave it up, and it's Fox who won't give up X-Men.
No, I'm going to have to check this out, but let's just say it is Fox. If we're wrong, we're wrong.
Well, I just actually rewatched all the Spider-Mans basically in the last week, because I know they're finally getting their hands on him, and there's another one coming out this year, the 3rd new, hey, this is what happens to Spider-Man movie in the last 15 years.
But what's really good about it is it's not a... here's how Spider-Man got his powers, which is fantastic, because I was sick and tired. Like, they had Spider-Man with Tobey Maguire, fantastic movie. I thoroughly enjoyed that one. Then they had the 2 sequels, and then they do, okay, let's do The Amazing Spider-Man with Garfield, who likes to eat lasagna. And it was all right. It was closer to the comic books than Tobey Maguire's, but I'd rather Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man portrayal than I did Garfield's, especially like the fact that John wasn't in it. Garfield, John go together, Odie. But they don't.
Yep.
Yeah, Odie, no, there was none of that. It was a big lizard. I didn't mind the second one they did that.
Really?
Electro.
I was about to say the opposite, because I'd actually never seen the second one until I watched it a week ago, and I was bored. I mean, I got to like 40 minutes in, and I'm like, oh, this must nearly be over. And I'm like, oh shit, we still got ages to go. We hadn't even met Electro at that point. And then we all of a sudden had, Green Goblin again, and then Rhino. I mean, people complain that the third one with Tobey Maguire had too many villains in it. At least that was entertaining. The third one, there was like way too many things going on in that. And I mean, look, Andrew Garfield had his moments. I think as Spider-Man himself, he was better because he was quick-witted and had the little one-line throwaways. But as Peter Parker, like... I thought Peter Parker was meant to be this geek that everybody hated and that would never get someone like Mary Jane or Gwen, yet for some reason Andrew Garfield as Peter Parker was kind of like the chic, cool hipster dude that got Gwen Stacy way too easily.
Yeah, no, I totally agree with you on that. And what's even better about this, like a bit of movie trivia for you, you have Andrew Garfield, he did no like there was no cool stunts that he physically did. Then you have Tobey Maguire. If you remember in the first movie, when he catches Kirsten Dunst and then he catches the tray of all the food, he practiced that and did that. That was no CGI, no special effects. He actually caught it all.
Tobey Maguire is such an underrated... Like, I like Tobey Maguire. And
so do I. He needs to be in more movies.
Yeah, it's kind of like he hasn't... I mean, he was in The Great Gatsby, wasn't he? He had like a cameo in Tropic Thunder, and I mean, has he done much recently? I haven't seen him in anything in a while.
Not really. And for me, he goes on the list of those actors who need to do more. And like Brendan Fraser, he needs to do more movies.
You would... I know we're trying to get you involved in this new spin-off project that we're hopefully getting out soon, and one of our co-hosts on that, Colin... He and I are weirdly obsessed with Brendan Fraser. So we will all of a sudden get in talking about great late 90s, early 2000s Brendan Fraser movies. We'll get talking about like Bedazzled and Blast from the Past and, The Mummy, of course. And, I'll throw in Dudley Do-Right.
George of the Jungle.
George of the Jungle. I mean, Dudley Do-Right's not up there with all of them, but it's still got its moments. But
it does.
I don't think I've seen Brendan Fraser in anything since Crash. And he was in a serious role in that. So... I mean, whatever happened to Brendan Fraser?
Yeah, that's it. And like one of my favourite roles that he played was actually in Scrubs.
Yeah, I never watched Scrubs, but I've seen bits and pieces of it. So, yeah, Brendan, if you're listening, which I mean, realistically, you're not. But I mean, you could be doing nothing, and this is where you are. Like, oh, I'm Brendan Fraser. I used to be famous, and now you're just chilling. Hit us up. We want to know where you are.
That's exactly right.
You and Tobey Maguire need to star in a buddy cop movie.
Oh, that would be awesome.
That
would be that would be good. That would be. They need to do that.
Yeah, we'll somehow get that. I don't even know. What else has been happening, Joshua? It's been like 6 months since you've been on the show, but...
Literally, you just got me thinking, like, when you're talking about the rhino in
Amazing Spider-Man 2.
And like at the end, I saw a funny-ass video on YouTube where they cut from the rhino from Amazing Spider-Man 2 to Jim Carrey piloting that robot rhinoceros from was it Ace Ventura?
Oh, yep.
And the way they cut it was so funny. It's on my Facebook page, guys. You guys know where it's at. So,
wow,
yeah, yeah.
My
phone just went.
What was I reading the other day? And this is again, if you're listening to this, you know the Brink well enough to know that we talk about 1,001 things in one segment, and we don't plan any of this. But I was reading something the other day, and Jim Carrey was in line to play a role in a movie, and I'm pretty certain, and this has to be it because I've like literally watched all 4 Jurassic Park movies in the last like 2 days. And I generally do the whole geek thing where after you've read it, you go on to like IMDb and you read the trivia and you read all this sort of stuff. And I got reading a history of Jurassic Park website, and Jim Carrey apparently was in line to play Dr. Ian Malcolm. Now, Jeff Goldblum owns that role. Like, you don't want to ever have this. Like I've got to confirm this if this is something that I dreamed or something like that. But like, could you? I mean, look,
I'm
Jim
Googling
Carrey
it
is
now,
pretty much one of my favorite actors of all time. But yeah, I'm right here, right now. I found it. But like, I don't. I mean, Jim Carrey's a great actor, but I don't want Jeff Goldblum not to be in it either.
Dude, you know what's funny? I've just typed in Google, was Jim Carrey. And you know how it comes up with a list of things? It goes, was Jim Carrey in Deadpool? Was Jim Carrey in Supernatural?
Wow.
And was Jim Carrey in The Goonies?
Here's this one here. So this is according to TheWrap.com, an article from April the 4th, 2013. Only on The Brink do we bring you 4-year-old news. Jim Carrey was considered for a key role in Jurassic Park, according to a new oral history of the dinosaur disaster flick on Entertainment Weekly. At the time, the rubber-faced comedian was best known for his work playing outrageous characters, blah, 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 blah. He had an audition for the role of Ian Malcolm. Yeah, I didn't imagine that. They said here there were several other people we taped for the part.
I want to see that footage.
Well, it says here there's a tape of it somewhere. Jim Carrey had come in, he was terrific, but I think we pretty quickly all fell in love with the idea of Jeff. That's crazy. That, you know...
there's footage of Nicolas Cage in a Superman costume.
There's a whole documentary on that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it was going to be directed by Tim Burton.
Well, that was literally like, that was being made. That there is actually a documentary on what happened to that film. Because that was a big thing. But yeah, I've seen those. I've seen that. The footage you're talking about. But you know, I mean,
I reckon that these things that could have been immeasurable. It just thinks like, how would our society be shaped with this pop culture that has just been, all right, let's have Anthony Daniels play Darth Maul, or let's actually get George W. Bush to do A Night with George W. Bush instead of our favourite curly head comedian.
There's just, there's plenty, there's a bevy of these articles out there of like, actors who turned down famous roles and all this sort of stuff. But like, I
think Will Smith was up for something, and it was something really...
He was up for The Matrix, I believe, and he turned it down for Wild Wild West. Yeah. Leonardo DiCaprio was considered for Spider-Man because apparently James Cameron had the rights for Spider-Man for many years, and after Titanic, basically talked with Leo and said, "You're going to be Peter Parker." And
that
what I was reading,
been really good.
Well, what I was reading about Spider-Man was like, I mean, this is my knowledge of comic books in terms of the Spider-Man comics. So we're talking about the comparisons between Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. So of course, in Tobey Maguire ones, he has the webs come from his wrists, like as in that's part of his anatomy, whereas Andrew Garfield builds the little things out of whatever. apparently...
Which is the correct.
I didn't know that. I just assumed that he would automatically have that ability. So apparently that bit from Tobey Maguire, that was a James Cameron treatment that they kept in from the original James Cameron idea. So
see, I had this conversation with my client earlier today, and that was the fact that Spider-Man, if it was correct that the spider bit him and gave him his powers, yes, the crawling, the spidey sense, and the webs wouldn't come out of his hands; it'd be coming out of his ass. Could you imagine that? This is Spider-Man just flying around. It's anatomically correct. And you know what's funny though? I never had a Spider-Man toy up until I was 9. Mum and Dad bought me a Spider-Man toy for my birthday, and it was from one of these really, really bleak and obscure universes of Spider-Man where he was anatomical. I can't pronounce the word now. He was proportioned correctly.
Yeah.
He had like the top arms, and then he had 2 other arms underneath, and he had his legs, and he had like a little admin butt sort of thing going on. And I opened it. I went, "What the heck is this piece of crap?"
Well, I hate spiders. So, like, I discovered Spider-Man is my second favourite superhero. So, there you go.
Wow.
Who's my first,
Who's your
Josh?
first favourite?
Well, that's the question I'm asking you.
That's Superman.
It is Superman. Of course it's Superman.
Yeah, how good's that?
Superman shits all over every other superhero. Are you a Batman man?
No, I'm not a Batman person. Like,
I like it. Batman's number 3, probably.
Batman's cool. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, Batman though, in the newer sort of incarnations of him, he's like, Batman is a okay. Just go with me on this. So you got Batman. This is like Batman sounds like this. He goes, "I'm Batman. I'm Batman," and he hangs around in dark alleys. Sounds a little bit like, "Want some candy? Help me find my puppy."
There is a funny video actually, a Jimmy Kimmel skit that he did where it's basically recreating the scene where Clark Kent and Bruce Wayne meet in Batman vs Superman at the gala.
Oh, no, I've seen that.
And Jimmy Kimmel was like, "Dude, you're Superman. Take off the glasses. Didn't everyone know?" And then when Ben Affleck holds a phone over his face, "Just take the photo." It's like, "Dude, you're Batman."
See, you know what's interesting though? A little bit more geekness from you. The reason why people couldn't distinguish Clark Kent from Superman is because Superman has he's got this like superhuman ability to constrict his muscles and make him look totally different. So his posture, his muscle structure, so like going from these like big pecs, he was able to constrict them down to shrink, make him look humble, meek, and different muscles in his face. So he actually did look slightly different to his Superman alter ego.
Have to say, Superman Returns, Brandon Routh, Kevin Spacey, underrated movie.
That is one of my favourite superhero movies.
Mm-hmm. Kevin Spacey in anything is awesome, but Kevin Spacey is Lex Luthor. I mean, why that movie doesn't get more love, I don't even know.
I think a lot of people didn't like it because it was Superman.
Well,
it was the Superman. It was essentially
Superman
a remake
2.
of Superman, and the fact that they were able to use Marlon Brando's which I think was pretty cool.
But this is the thing, Josh. This is what annoys me with that, because I agree with you. I don't disagree with you. But then, and this is, but please, you know me. This is not me shitting on Star Wars because, hey, we love Star Wars. Star Wars Episode 7 is Star Wars Episode 4. Why doesn't that get the same treatment as Superman Returns?
It does. It does. It does not the reason why Star Wars got all the love is because nostalgia. Mm-hmm. It was big. Like Star Wars and the first Superman movie came out relatively around the same time, and Star Wars got more love. Mm. And that's just the only nostalgia hit everyone, and that's why that movie did so well. I remember sitting there watching it. I loved it. I loved Force Awakens. And then a few months later, I'm like, yeah, this is A New Hope.
Yes.
But I still love it. I still enjoy it. Don't get me wrong. I love Star Wars. And I will say I thoroughly enjoyed Rogue One. And I do agree with you. It wasn't a movie that we needed. Mm-hmm. It is a good movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie, but it's cash cow.
It's a good movie. And it is a movie that people like my wife will actually sit and watch because none of the main characters are blue and have weird names. She has this issue. Like Naomi loves the Marvel movies. And when she was pregnant with Alex, we decided, okay, we're going to start. I've never seen any X-Men movies. Let's watch all the X-Men movies. So we watched all the X-Men movies. She goes, oh, what else is there? I said, oh, let me show you. We got Iron Man. We watched Iron Man. Then we watched Captain America, and she loved that. And I'm like, look, Guardians of the Galaxy have just come out. Let's go see that. So we went and watched it. And she's just like, I said, what do you reckon? And the first sentence out of her mouth was, why did that girl have to be green? Like, they could have told the same story and she could have been normal.
Racist.
I know.
She hates green people. Your wife is a racist against green people.
I know. And give her credit where credit's due. She liked Deadpool, and she didn't mind Guardians of the Galaxy except for the girl being green. She actually really enjoyed the fact that Groot was voiced by Vin Diesel. She thought that was funny.
I haven't seen it. I've seen Iron Man and Deadpool and like 2 of the X-Men. That's it. I'm a bad comic book fan. I'm a DC man, all right? But I haven't even seen Suicide Squad, so I can't even call myself that.
No, Dan, that's an awesome movie.
Academy Award-winning movie now, let me point out. Josh, we're going to end this segment because we need to... You've brought someone with you that we need to put in a different segment. So we'll have you on again soon, but in the meantime, thank you, and we need to get to this next person because... he's important, so thank you.
Of course, definitely.
You're important, but this guy's...
Yep. Right. I get it. Well, he's tapping on the shoulder to get out of his chair, so...
I mentioned that we had someone a lot more important coming on the show. I mean, we love Josh. Don't get me wrong. Josh is a good guy. But when this guy becomes available, and Josh helped us get this guy on the show, we kind of have to make way because, for starters, we haven't had him on in quite some time. Secondly, he is a big man. Thirdly, he lifts sheep. Fourthly, he ran a state in America. And fifthly, he always likes to let us know that he'll be back. It is, of course, Arnold Schwarzeneggar back on the brink. Oh, I missed hearing that Macho Man song in the background. Arnie, you're back. Hello.
I am here and I am not queer. I am here to talk to Ben. How are you?
I am so happy. I am over the moon. I haven't heard your voice in so long, and just hearing your voice makes me happy because you are Arnie. So yes,
That's okay, Ben. That is fine. And I'm glad to make your day better.
Well, yes, you do. And I mean, how's it been? You've been everywhere recently. You've been in the news. You've released movies. You were the host of The Apprentice, but you quit that. I mean, what's...
That's because it is bullcrap. There's no cookies. There's no bathroom. And I'd rather sit on Graham Norton's couch.
Right. So you...
Or on your lap.
Well, you can sit on my lap anytime. You know that. But so basically, take us through this. This is almost an exclusive because I don't think you've done an interview since you've released the fact that you're leaving this Celebrity Apprentice. So you've said there's too much baggage. There's too much history with the show. Basically, it all comes down to the fact that Donald Trump's ghost is hanging around the boardroom. Is that what you're saying?
Donald Trump is a wiener. And I tell you what, I eat wieners for breakfast. And I'm not talking about the Mardi Gras game. I'm talking about the bratwurst. He is a wiener. The baggage, nothing is too heavy for Arnold. Right. Nothing is too heavy for Arnold. But I will say this. He does not lift sheep. He eats sheep. And I do not like that.
Well, I mean...
He screwed up the show.
He's screwing up the country as well. I mean, like, what else is there to say about Donald? I mean, you're a Republican, he's a Republican, but you're not a fan of the Donald.
He's not a Republican. He's a publican. He owns things. He's not a rep. He doesn't represent of the people.
How angry?
If he gets rid of the Mexicans, who's going to mow my lawn or clean my tank?
Or have an affair with, apparently. You must be so angry because you can't be president because you were born in Austria. So never can happen unless somehow you change the constitution. But, I mean, surely...
You're working on that.
How much of a better job would you be doing? Would you be building the wall? Would you be blocking the Muslims?
I'd be lifting the wall, not building a wall, lifting a wall.
You wouldn't need to build it. You would build it in a day. You just pick up the Great Wall of China and throw it over to America.
China owes us big time. If we weren't here, they would not have Jackie Chan.
That is true. What else has been happening, Arnie? I mean, your Snapchat's doing well. You like to always post your one-liners on there.
That's right.
Yeah.
It's visiting people, blowing stuff up in my tank.
Yep.
Heaps of stuff.
Right.
Heaps of stuff. Doing stuff for charity. I did this thing not long ago when the Terminator movie come out, where I walked down Hollywood Boulevard as the Terminator.
That was funny. I saw that. Yes. That was a pretty shit movie, Arnie. Terminator Genesis. What happened there?
It's obsolete, not old.
It's fine. Why did you make it? It was kind of shit.
I was broke.
Really? All the money you had to
Yes.
pay out your ex-wife because you kind of cheated on her, so...
Yeah, well, that happens, right? That happens.
Accidentally fell into her a few times.
Yes. Yes.
So, are you going to be making another Terminator, or are you done now since as that was made?
They can use CGI.
They did in the fourth one with you.
I'm going to do another kindergarten cop.
Right. Well, they're doing another Twins, aren't they? Aren't you teaming up with Danny DeVito or something for another Twins?
That would be awesome.
Another
to be with Danny
Expendables?
DeVito.
Another Expendables as well?
That's just a bill pay at those movies.
That's not even that's just a reality show for you guys. They claim it's a movie, but I mean that's just you and Sylvester hanging out and just chilling.
I'm doing I've just done a movie about being in a true story of this person who wanted to find the air traffic controller and kill him.
Right.
Because he killed my family.
Right. Sounds like every movie you've done ever.
It's called Tuesday. Because that's what I do on Tuesdays.
Speaking of days, I actually watched The Sixth Day. I haven't seen that in a while, and I watched it a week ago. And one of your good ones, my favourite line from that movie, which I was wondering, you probably won't want to say it because you've grown up, you don't swear anymore. But of course, in the movie where you're like, maybe you should go clone yourself so you can go fuck yourself.
It's one of my favourite lines too.
Yes, but you wouldn't say that for us now, would you?
You can go clone yourself. So you can go beep yourself.
Oh, look, you're coming with an inbuilt sensor now, Arnie. Like, this is just, you're coming to Australia soon, of course, for the Arnold Classic that you come every year. You're at the Grand Prix twice the last couple of years. You went on the podium the other year and interviewed the drivers. You going to see anything else in Melbourne this time around? You going to go see a footy match at all?
I'm going to go to a town called Goulburn because there is a big sheep in Goulburn.
You want to lift it?
I'm going to lift it, set the world record for the largest sheep lifted by Arnold Schwarzenegger's bicep.
How is that going, the sheep lifting? I mean, you used to tell our listeners all the time to lift the sheep, and you used to tell me that I would lose my boobies and my gut. So was that what I'm doing wrong? I'm not lifting enough sheep?
No, you need to be lifting with 2 arms twice a day for 20 minutes.
Right. Okay.
If you want to lose the belly, you need to do crunches with the sheep on your face.
On my face. That's very specific.
On your face, so it goes ba ba black sheep. That's what you want.
Right. Okay. Got it. Anything else you want to add, Arnie? I mean, gosh, there's just so much we could talk about, but I don't know what else you want to talk about.
You can save it for another time. When we have me and Donald on the show. that would be a debate. We'll call it the massive debate of the century.
That would be... Yeah, I don't even know how that would go, but hey, we'll do that for sure. Arnold Schwarzenegger, it's a pleasure. And as always, I'm guessing we'll end this by saying that you will be...
I'll be back, Ben.
One of my favourite segments that I bring you each episode on The Brink is a throwback into memory lane of hearing a classic live performance, countless live performances on The Brink's history across the 11 years that we were on air. And one such performance back in 2010, good friend of ours from the show, Melbourne singer-songwriter, well, based in Melbourne, originally from Tasmania, Joel Stibbard, came on the show heaps of times and performed for us a lot of times. One of the best songs that I think we ever had on the show performed was a song called Pigeons Are the Best Headbangers. I don't even need to explain to you what it's about. You heard it in the title. So let's listen to 2010 live performance by Joel Stibbard, Pigeons Are the Best Headbangers.
Ducks love to paddle upstream, and parrots have those colourful wings. They shine for you. Murray magpies walk up to say hello, and kookaburras laugh all the way to the bank. But pigeons are the best headbangers. Woohoo! Pigeons are the best headbangers. Woohoo! Pigeons are the best headbangers. Oh, headbangers. Eagles love to sit on a crest before they swoop down, and seagulls, they just steal all of your chips. The albatross can eat a fish, oh. Still a kookaburra laughs all the way to the bank. But pigeons are the best headbangers. Woohoo! Pigeons are the best headbangers. Woohoo! Pigeons are the best headbangers. Oh, pigeons are the best headbangers. Pigeons are the best headbangers. 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 But pigeons are the best headbangers. Woohoo! 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 Pigeons are the best headbangers. Oh, headbangers. I think this guitar's a bit out of tune. Headbangers.
Another week of the Brink coming your way means another week of getting this little shit on the show. It's Dakoda Leary. Dakoda, welcome back to the Brink.
Hey, Ben. Good introduction.
Thank you.
That was great.
It's pretty nice of me, isn't it? The first time I've actually been able to introduce you as a little shit.
Yeah. Oh, dude. Aren't you so happy?
You know, I have my moments.
But you've been waiting to say that for, like, since I was 15. Like,
Well, you still are.
well, exactly.
Yeah. So, you know, what's been happening last 2 weeks? It's been a couple of weeks. We've been away for a bit.
Yeah,
but,
it's been a bit, yeah.
Yeah, so what's been doing?
Just working. Like, I haven't been doing anything. Took a trip to Azerbaijan.
Oh, yeah?
For shits and gigs. Like,
Cool.
nice place.
What
yeah.
did you do there? What's there to do in Azerbaijan in February?
I just hung out for a bit. Just walking around the place. Met some people. Can't speak their language, so that was a bit difficult.
What language do they speak in Azerbaijan, Dakota?
I think it's like, I don't know, Arabian or something. I don't know.
Not Azerbaijani or anything like that?
I don't know if that's a language. Is it?
Me neither. It could be.
Yeah, I think it's like a mix of like, because it's in the Middle East, and it's like I think it's like a mix of like Arabian and Persian. I don't know.
Is it in the Middle East? It's kind of more in the the Eastern Europe side of things.
Ask a geologist.
A geologist? So somebody who deals with rocks. Do you mean a geographer?
Well, what are they called? Yeah, those ones. Oh.
I don't know if a geologist knows much about geography. I mean, they could. They could be a multitasking geologist.
It's been a long day. It's
clearly
let me be.
Jet lag.
Yeah.
From Azerbaijan.
Yeah.
Catches up.
Man, I just came back this morning.
Yeah. Right. Okay. So did you see the Oscars at all this week? Perhaps.
I didn't, but I know that like they messed it up.
They did. Has that ever happened to you? Like at work? I mean, you serve coffee, so like, do you yell out like, I've got a latte here. Lol, joke, it's actually a cappuccino.
All the time.
All the time.
Literally all the time.
And does Jimmy Kimmel come and stand next to you and yell at you?
No, he does not.
Oh.
But the customers are like, why the fuck did you say it was a latte when it's a cappuccino, you asshole? Like...
Wow.
And I'm like, dude, sorry. Like, calm down. Like, you got your coffee. Go away and drink it and leave me alone.
Your customers sound very abusive.
No, they're alright.
I assume they would be like hipsters getting their coffee at that place. But...
No, they're all bank executives and stuff. So.
Bank executives, right.
Bank executives. Because we're in the MyState building, so...
Right, okay. So do you get, like, free money? Are they like, hey, cool, thanks, here's a loan, have it for free?
Free money would be nice.
It would be, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't get free money.
You don't get free money?
Nah, man. No free money.
You have to work for your money. You work hard for your money.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like Dolly Parton said, just working 9 to 5. I can't remember the song. It's, yeah. I had the song in my head, and as soon as I mentioned the song, it just completely disappeared from my head.
I think you just had Dolly Parton in your head. You're like, oh, Dolly Parton's
Dolly
there.
Parton.
Hello, Dolly, what's up?
Oh, yeah? She's here now.
Is
She's
she?
in my room.
Oh, cool. So
Yeah.
you've been to Azerbaijan, didn't watch the
Yep.
Oscars, and somehow Dolly
Yep.
Parton ended up in your room.
Yep.
Cool. I mean...
Problem with that?
None at all. I didn't realise that
Good.
Dolly Parton likes Chigwell. I mean, you know...
Mate, like, hey, don't... it's my dress. Like, don't come to...
It's your
Don't come
dress.
to Chigwell, everyone. I mean,
Oh, your address. Right, I was about to say something like, oh, well, Dolly's giving you some of her clothes, eh? I mean, I did just say the
Jeez.
suburb, Dakota. I mean, it's not like,
Yeah,
you know,
true.
both our listeners
I
are
mean-
going to door knock every house in Chigwell and be like, Dakota.
I mean, they might.
Well, I mean, look, if they are after
I have
15-year-old
fans.
boys, good on them, but, you know.
I have fans.
Do you?
I have a lot of fans.
Did you buy it from Kmart, like, because it's a bit hot, so you need to cool yourself down?
Ever since I became, like, Young Citizen of the Year, and I've been flocking to my door.
After you destroyed the council, again, can we not point
And
that
then,
out?
well, ever since I became, like, Young Citizen of the Year, there's been, like, total anarchy in Glenorchy. Like, people are getting in fights.
There were
like,
people getting stabbed in the bus mall the other day,
I
Dakota.
know,
Why aren't
that's-
you fixing this? You are the young citizen of this municipality. You've destroyed the council. We've got no government. Now you're letting kids stab each other in the mall. Do your job.
I'm not letting... What am I meant to do?
I don't know. You're the young citizen of the year. Be a young citizen and say, no, don't stab people.
I was like, stop, I'm Young Citizen of the Year. And they were like, you what, mate? And stab me. Like,
But then they go to jail because they stab... I mean, you're basically the mayor now because, like...
jeez.
You're the only
That's
person
something
in
to think
Glenorchy
about.
with a title now. You haven't been suspended for 6 months.
That's actually, I actually am.
Well, fix
That's
it.
actually
Don't
true.
let people get
My
stabbed.
God.
No, bad young citizen of the year.
So, I'm basically going to claim that I'm the most important person in Glenorchy right now.
Well, you know, I sort of live in Glenorchy, but hey.
What has the world come to?
It's kind of funny. I shouldn't laugh. It's not funny. People getting stabbed is not funny. But like when you read the story and it's like there was a fight in the Glenorchy bus mall, 2 people were stabbed. It's like, how is that news? In other news, the sky is blue, the ground is walking on. Like, I mean, you know, the Brink still isn't funny. I mean, it's just standard news.
That's true, yeah. But like, in all seriousness, like, Glenorchy's actually a pretty safe place. But like, just like, because most of the fights and stuff that happen there are between like people that know each other. So as long as you don't like know people.
But it's Tasmania. It's Glenorchy. Everyone knows everyone. What's that, Robbo? Yeah, I know Jenny. Yeah, she knows Frank.
Then stay up Glenorchy then.
I love your catchphrase a few moments ago. Glenorchy, it's a pretty safe place to be. Like that's the new motto. It's like, Glenorchy, it's a pretty safe place to be. No stabbings since Tuesday.
Yeah. That should be the motto. Like, oh, it's pretty safe, but like you could get stabbed.
Like if that happened in like Sandy Bay, like shit's going down. All right.
I mean, it probably has happened in Sandy Bay.
Well,
like,
I'm sure at least one person got stabbed over, you know, not getting $1 million check cashed in time. I mean,
like,
that's
it's like-
fine.
do you know what makes me angry, Ben?
What makes you angry, Dakota?
When, like, because, like, you know, when people, like, there's a violent thing in a place and everyone's like, oh, this place is unsafe. Like,
every place is unsafe. If like, you know, like there's always, wherever you go, there's going to be people who like want to cause fights and
Like
stuff.
everywhere.
And,
You think everywhere you go, there's
Yes.
danger. So Antarctica, people want to start fights.
Yes, I'm sure they have their own domestic disputes, like in Antarctica. Like,
What, the penguins and the
did you drink
whales
my
disagree
coffee?
with the snow?
No, the people there, because there's people there. Yeah.
Like for 6
in the
months and then they
huts
go
and stuff.
home.
Yeah, but I'm sure they have fights.
What about in space?
I'm sure on the International Space Station, people have their little arguments.
So the International Space Station is the Glenorchy of space.
Well, I mean, it's the everything of space. Because it's
What's
like
not
there's
everything
nothing
of
else in
space?
space.
Is that really the everything of space? So like Saturn is not
Yeah.
space because the International Space Station is in space.
Like, with people there, there's no people in Saturn, is there?
Oh, you don't know? Have you been to Saturn?
Well, no, but that's not the point.
Well, there you go. Next time, instead of going to Azerbaijan, go to Saturn.
Yeah, okay, alright, I'll do that
beautiful this
week,
time
and
of
then
year.
I'll report back from Saturn.
Good. I don't know if you'll be able to breathe or anything, but, you know.
Well, look, I'll do my best.
I mean, all you can do is try.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the motto at the end of the day. Just try your best.
Go to Saturn, try your best.
So
Have a good life.
cool. What else has been happening? You got dogs barking in the background. Maybe there is somebody about to knock at your door.
Can you hear those? My God.
I have very good hearing.
Yeah.
I was going to say I have very good
dogs
eyesight.
in the
That's not
background,
that's
because they can hear me talking through my bedroom window and into the next door, so they're barking at me talking to you. So,
right.
yeah.
So
Other than dogs barking, nothing much has happened.
nothing much. You're a pretty exciting person.
Caught a bus.
This is why we haven't been on for 2 weeks, 'cause you haven't been doing it. You caught a bus. Wow.
Yeah,
This
man.
is
It was
what
great.
this show has turned into. It's like, what did you do today? Caught a bus. Oh, wicked. What else did you do? Looked at the dog at the back. It's barking at me.
I didn't look at it; it just barked at me.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Yep. So, anything else to add? I think we need to end this. You didn't watch the Oscars. That was our talking point. And you just like, oh yeah, I heard about it.
I knew it was on. Just didn't.
It was on, yeah.
Watch it.
Cool. Have you
Yeah.
seen any of the like? Have you seen La La Land? Have you seen Moonlight? Have you seen Manchester by the Sea?
No, I haven't.
Wicked.
I'm an uncultured swine.
Cool. All right.
Yeah.
This interview's going great.
I didn't know this was an interview. I thought.
This is a conversation.
Yeah.
Oh, haven't hit record yet. Better start now. Here's Dakoda, little kid on the radio.
I don't know. Played some video games.
Caught a bus. Ate some potato chips.
Caught a bus. No, I haven't had any potato gems since last time we spoke.
Letting me down,
I know,
man.
it makes me sad too.
You know what makes me angry? Is when Dakota doesn't eat potato gems.
No, I'll cook some tonight for tea, and then I'll report back my findings.
That's the new weekly segment. This week in Potato Gems.
Potato gems with Dakota.
That's a spin-off podcast. This week on Potato Gems with podcast with Dakota, we talk about why
yeah,
potato
that'd be
gems are better than biscuit gem.
I don't think biscuit gems are a thing.
Well, they
So
could be.
yes, they are
In
better than biscuit
Azerbaijan.
gems.
On Saturn.
No, I haven't been to Saturn, but Azerbaijan, they don't exist. They might on Saturn. I'll let you know when I go there.
Cool. Awesome.
Yeah, man.
Yep.
It'll be great.
Well, this has
This
been
gone well.
this has been great. Best one so far.
Yeah. I need
just-
to do some more interesting stuff next time.
I think maybe next week we should plan something.
Yeah, I'll quit my job and then just go out and do interesting stuff.
Catch, hang on a
Just
minute.
for- just for
Catch
this.
more than one bus. Catch 2 buses. Ooh, ooh, ooh.
Oh, dude.
Shit just got real.
Yes. Yeah, I'll do it. All right, I'll catch one to Huonville and report my findings.
No, that's a bit too far. Like, you know, I mean, nobody willingly wants to go to Huonville. So,
That's true. Yeah, that's a good point.
hello to
But I'll do it for the Brink. I'll do it for the Brink, and I'll go to Huonville,
okay.
and I'll get in a fight or something. I don't know.
Stab some people in the Huonville bus
Yeah.
mall. They don't have a bus
Yeah.
mall. They don't know what a mall is. What's a mall? Isn't that guy who lives down the road? Hello to both residents of Huonville if you're tuning in today. How does this segment turn into let's just shit all over every place in Tasmania?
The mall in Huonville is Gaz's house who sells weed.
It's just made of weed. People just smoke the house. Yeah, I'm just going to smoke the doorknob tonight.
Yeah. Where you going, Davo? Oh, I'm going to Gaz's for some...
Anyway, Dakoda, it's always been fun, and thank you for being a little shit.
Thanks. You're welcome, man.
Moving into our next segment, and that, of course, is...
This is like a flashback. This is like a dream.
Flashing it back. We're going back to the beautiful year that was 2009. Now, you already heard a brand spanking new segment from Mr. Arnold Schwarzeneggar, of course, earlier in this episode. We're going to bring you some classic Arnie now. 2009, back when he used to come in the studio, chill with Josh and myself. Doesn't really need much more of an introduction than that. So let's go into that time machine back to 2009 and hear from this.
For the first time in 2009, Arnold Schwarzenegger.
How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm angry.
Should be the question. I can tell.
Your assistant is a body boober.
That's Janine. She's new. You have to excuse her. Arnold, how has 2009 been for you?
Been good.
What's been happening in the world of the Governator?
I've been resting on the beach.
The beach.
In Sydney.
Oh, yes.
I went to Manly.
Yes, and what about
Well,
Bondi?
I was Manly and showed off my guns.
That would be your favourite beach, wouldn't it?
Yes.
What about the Bondi?
I don't like the Bondi.
Why not?
Because it sounds like Bindi. Which reminds me of Bindi Irwin.
And we don't like
She
her.
looks like Gollum.
Yes, I've never really made that. I always thought she looked like that Nobby from Harry Potter. You know, Harry Potter.
She's Gollum.
Yeah, all right. Now, we were talking a little bit before about sort of old wives' tales, lies that our parents told us to, I don't know, keep us safe. Anything your mum told you when you were younger?
She told me I was an only child.
Yes.
But Danny DeVito was my brother.
I heard
We
about
were
that.
twins.
I mean, growing up in Austria must have been a bit, different. What sort of tales do Austrians tell their kids?
We get told not to go to Germany.
Yes, that would be the first obvious thing to happen.
Because if you have a big nose, you're dead.
Yes, Arnold. Josh, I'm not touching that one.
No, me neither.
Arnold, also, we were talking about going swimming and doing wheeze in the water.
Do it because it makes you manly.
Yes, exactly.
It strengthens your bladder because the water, the pressure, and it makes it squishy.
It does. Now, also, we were talking earlier about 80s movies, which just seem...
Titties!
You're in a lot of 80s movies. Your boobs were prominently featured in several of those.
Terminator.
They
Terminator 2.
Which was released in the 90s, actually.
You be quiet! You don't tell me my business!
I was thinking of Total Recall, Predator. Classic movies.
Do you know there was no boobies in Return of the Jedi?
I except Jabba the Hutt's, which
They weren't boobies. They were flappy man boobs.
which are still boobs in my book.
No.
Carrie Fishers were very much.
They weren't there.
They were almost there.
They were tissue.
I would love to see you in a Star Wars movie, Arnold.
I would be...
Darth Vader would.
No, you be quiet.
Yes.
I would be Darth Julius. And I would be like, look, I am your uncle.
Before you go, can you please give us one good get out?
Get out! Get
was-
out of my head! I want to see people running on the barbecue run.
On the barbecue run.
Where you have a kilometer of barbecues and you run while they're on.
Why? What does that specifically entail?
It builds your muscles.
Why would it build your muscles? Wouldn't it burn
Because
your feet?
it's the burn.
But it would.
Feel the burn.
But it would burn your feet.
You be quiet.
I'm just adding simple logic to the fact.
You be
Arnold.
quiet.
Damir Dokic opening up a tennis centre.
He's a bad man.
What do you think about that?
I open one up next to his, and so I take his business.
What would you call it?
I Arnie's Ballorarium Tennis Center in Extraordinaire.
And what do you know about tennis, Arnold?
To yell at them to make them go harder.
I think that they would need to grunt. So they go,
That's weak. You grunt like this.
Sorry for people using headphones this morning. Why do you think you can teach tennis as opposed to Demir Domi?
Because I am Arnie.
True.
And the governor.
What other clinics would you like to open?
I'd like to open the Mia Sheep Center.
What would you do there?
I would teach the lammies to be heavyweights.
Fair enough. Barack Obama got sworn in this week.
He good man.
You happy about that?
He good buddy.
Yes?
We play poker.
Yeah, that's good. And the Academy Award nominations got released this morning. You again were left off the list.
Don't remind me.
What about Danny DeVito? How's he?
I don't know.
I'm just randomly shoving topics at you, Arnold.
And it's hurting me.
Josh,
I want to cry.
Josh, do you have
What?
anything to add?
No, I don't. I never do.
Arnold, do you have something to say to Josh? Because he just doesn't seem to like you.
I do like him. I really. You do not like me.
Why don't you like Arnold, Josh?
I love him.
Arnold, why do you think he doesn't like you?
Because he's envious of my rippling bicep nipple area.
They're very hypnotising this week. Did you use something different?
Olive oil.
Olive oil.
Watch the olive oil move.
It looks very hypnotisingly attractive. Okay, now Will, you're in awe of Arnold at the moment, aren't you?
It is pretty amazing to have him here in the studio.
It is. A lot of people don't believe that he's, ever comes in. They think it's just one of us doing an impersonation, but he's here, isn't he?
Yeah, oh yeah, totally. Yeah,
He's a big rippling man going to kill you.
Now, Arnold,
scared.
do you want to challenge Will to a rock, paper,
I
scissors?
challenge him to the death.
Okay, I'm going to watch this. I'm going to be referee / now that I'm a, played and a beaten number 47 in the world, I've got to be confident.
Right, yeah.
Now, are we going to see any sledging involved here? Are you going to give us a rock, paper, scissors sledge?
Oh, look, if you want me to, I'm happy to, but...
You could try, mate. I reckon, I honestly think that Arnie's got the upper hand here. Mainly because he's taller.
No, I don't think
Really?
so.
Right, okay. Well, the thing about rock, paper, scissors is that it bridges all the age and gender gaps, so...
Exactly. So an 8-year-old girl could beat a 70-year-old man.
Oh, yeah, totally.
I doubt this. Okay, but anyway.
Okay,
One-
Arnold, are you ready?
Yes, I am.
Will, are you ready?
Oh, yes, I'm ready to go.
Now, I'll go right away if you like. I'll try and explain this. That's
okay.
what I see.
You happy to play 2 prime shoot, Arnold? Or...
Yes, we'll do 2 prime.
Okay.
2 prime.
2 prime.
That is my new word. 2 prime.
Good, great.
Okay.
Yes, you're right. You can go. I'll try and explain this to the listeners.
Okay.
Now, it's paper. Oh, right. Oh, here we go again. We got scissors. Oh, this is very close here. What's going on? Oh, it's a paper. We'll win. Sorry, Arnie. You have to go back. You have to go back to the Terminator house.
That's one.
Are you going to go again? All right. We've got the fist
go again.
clenched.
Best 2 out of 3.
Okay, what are you going to throw me this time, Arnie?
I throw you a basket of oranges if you're not careful.
The sledges are coming.
Right, all right. Here we go. Ready?
It's a pumped. They go right there. We've got a paper and a rock. Arnie takes one for the team.
Nice.
Austria won. Australia won. The decider. Will versus Arnie. What's going to happen here?
I want to see scissors.
Fists are clenched. All the sledging's coming. Here we go. Oh, scissors against scissors. What are we going to see here? Pump. And it's a victory to Arnold. Will is not on fire
No,
today.
I'm not on fire. I'm not good under pressure.
I told you I win. Now you will die
Yes.
in the pit of death.
Good memories. Good memories. Love it. Love Arnie. We need more of him. And hopefully, he will become more of a regular staple on this show again. We bring people back because that's what we do. And one of those people that we bring back to you, because I'm trying to rhyme and it doesn't really work, it's Paul Luttrell. Paul, welcome back to the Brink.
Yeah, good to be here.
It's good to be back after a few weeks off, but that generally means that we have more to talk about, apparently, particularly when it comes to certain presidents of the United States. There's only one of them, but he's always in the news. He hasn't really done much in the last couple of weeks, though, has he? I mean, it's kind of like we go away and he actually doesn't do anything for once.
Yeah, he hasn't done anything that's really, big and controversial. I think he's still doing the little things and people are still annoyed with him, but it's nothing that's been kind of like headlined and everyone's losing their minds about.
He's given a speech, his first speech to Congress, which, from what I saw, for the most part, people are saying he finally looks presidential. Which, I mean, you know, sometimes it takes a month, I guess, to get in there. But, I mean, did you watch the speech? Did you see it? Did you feel he was presidential?
I saw some clips, and I thought, I guess that there weren't any real crazy moments, but they've been saying that for the last 2 years. Everything he does something vaguely sane, people saying, "Oh, it's a turning point," and then he goes on and, you know, bans Muslims from entering the country or whatever. And I think we have also, because it's been a while now since we've talked, and there was the other press conference that he had, This wasn't the address to Congress, but the one where he basically just ripped into the media, calling them fake news, and everyone thought, this is an hour and 17 minutes of brain farting, basically.
To which he then basically banned half the world's media from actually showing up to White House press calls.
Yeah, we should be really, really, really disturbing for anyone. That's like rule number 1 in the tyrant playbook. Discredit dissenters, basically. If you're the only person that's basically that anyone can look to for the truth, I'm doing the quotation marks here in that, the truth, then obviously no one's going to criticize you. You can't be called out for any of your shit, and no one can really take you away from power.
Well, so I strangely think it's good news for people like us, because we probably could get accreditation to get into the White House now.
Yeah, definitely. We just need to maybe get, I don't know, a swastika put on our arm or something, tattooed on there, and we're in.
I think so. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, it's, you know, I don't want to claim that you and I right now are part of the media, because this is a podcast that no one's listening to, but you and I have experience in the media, and I guess it's fascinating. You're right. I mean, you silence the press, even if you're silencing bits and pieces of it. I mean, New York Times has basically come out and, you know, I think they've put an ad out, I saw, first time in about however many years, they've put a television commercial out, you know, talking about this, and just, I mean, it's crazy to think that he's basically stopping these people showing, because he's talking about fake news. And I don't know if you watch Last Week Tonight with John Oliver, and he's basically going on about this and talking about how Trump gets his facts and his news, because he basically just watches Fox News religiously. And I mean, this is a guy who's saying everything's fake news when he relies on one source, essentially. Yeah, well, he actually goes to things that are actually fake news, and they're gospel to him. I mean, who's the guy, the Alex, the guy that does the InfoWars. Yeah, I know who you're talking about. That guy, and also, like, obviously he's got Steve Bannon as his, one of his chief of staff or whatever, or his strategic, I don't know what his position actually is, but he's a Breitbart guy who basically is just the alt-right media mogul. So yeah, these people are renowned for not really fact-checking at all, and kind of just going with whatever their impulses are. It's just absolutely ridiculous. It's crazy to think, and again, this is, you know, we had the Oscars during the week obviously have a bit of a mistake in the Best Picture, but a lot of people were saying, like, don't we wish that had happened after the election? Yeah. Like, sorry, we called the wrong name out. It's actually Hillary. I mean, it just doesn't. I don't know. This is crazy. 2 Australians talking about this, but I mean, it affects the world, and it still doesn't seem like you watch them on TV and you see these things, and it just doesn't seem like you're just expecting this to be at some point over. Like, it's been a month and a bit. It feels like it's already been 3 years. Yeah, exactly. It feels like it's just like he's just a child, and here we are. We're mucking around at the moment, and it's time for just the adults to come in any moment and just put a stop to it. But it's kind of like, well, he's the most powerful man in the free world now. No one can put a stop to it. It's ridiculous. It's all kinds of crazy, and it's I mean, not that you'd ever want some sort of big disaster to happen, but I mean, if something like that happens and he has to be really like, I mean, you know, we've talked about Bush before, and I think Bush holds the record for the highest approval rating of any president and the lowest approval rating of any president, and it was the highest after 9/11 because everybody was like, he handled that well, good on you, George.
Yeah,
you know,
or they would just say, oh, we've just got to get behind our president no matter what.
Exactly. I mean, again, don't want that to happen, never want that to happen, but if something like that happens right now, I don't know how Trump, I mean, what's he going to do? How does he handle that?
Yeah. I think the scariest thing, though, is that he would fall to pieces in an instant, but he would divert the blame onto someone else somehow. He's never, ever going to be, unless he's impeached or whatever, but then it falls to Mike Pence. But I feel that somehow he's going to avoid taking or shouldering responsibility or ever really being called to account for it. No matter how bad he messes up, he's going to always divert the blame onto someone else.
And it's so fascinating how people in Australia complain about our system, the fact that, you know, we go through prime ministers like underwear, yet... Yeah. I mean, when I was in America and I tried to explain this to them, they loved it. They were like, gee, I wish we could do that. Because, I mean, even right now, Turnbull had a bad week. Oh, he could be, you know, look at Abbott, he's coming back and all this sort of stuff. So there's every chance we're going to have another Prime Minister in 6 months. Probably will happen. You know, we're used to it. But, I mean, again, if it happens at that point, America is just at that point looking at Australia going, wow, we're jealous of them.
Yeah. But I think in that way... That's kind of a distraction away from policies because people kind of get, oh, I don't like Turnbull, but if you put Abbott in there, they're still, you know, it's still the Liberal Party. They've still got the same policies basically. Then nothing's really going to change. It's just you put a different face on the same shit.
Well, this is why, and again, I'm not standing here or sitting here defending any form of policies by people like Trump, by people like Pauline Hanson, all that sort of stuff. That's a whole other debate. But I mean, this is essentially why these people are getting up, because people are sick of politicians and the parties. Because I mean, at the end of the day, how can you differentiate that much between Labor and Liberal? It's not like it was 30, 40 years ago. I mean, it really also in social media age and the age we live in, it's a lot of it is about personality as well. I mean, think back 10 years ago when Kevin Rudd gets into power, how he brought everything that he brought in to that with, you know, Kevin 07 and just everything along those lines.
Yeah.
People were drawn to that. People were drawn to someone like Obama with everything along those lines. I mean, it's almost a way of distracting them from what they're actually standing for, but they still kind of like the people. And again, I know it's not a popularity contest to most bits because you've got to kind of elect these people on the basis that they're going to do well for your state, your country, whatever you're voting them in for. But at the end of the day, with our short attention spans, we're turning to people like Pauline Hanson and Donald Trump because they're saying things that are controversial, but they're saying things that sadly parts of our population agree with, and they're finally getting a voice.
Yeah, completely agree with that. I think that the Republicans in America are far better at exploiting that as well than the Democrats, and that's why Trump got into power, because they're able to gather up all of these things that aren't really that important, but that certain people of the population feel really strongly about. I don't know. They're able to really just get all the bigots and everything on board by having policies that really. I can't see many of the Republican members of the GOP or whatever really caring that much about a lot of their social policies, but it gets more people on board. And yeah, I think that in Australia as well, like the Pauline Hanson, the thing that strikes me is people going from the Labor Party to then supporting One Nation. That seems like you've made a big leap there. You've jumped across two different parties really to get it. But yeah, people are attracted to people that say controversial things, I guess.
And I mean, I guess also talking about the media, I mean, you know, like we don't want to blame the media entirely, but again, just sometimes it's a simple case of surely not letting these people have a voice. I mean, if Trump didn't say, like, I mean, Trump comes out and says, yeah, let's build a wall, just don't broadcast it. Like, oh, that's just Trump, loopy Trump over there in his corner. You know,
yeah, like, it kind of clashes with their ideology, though, isn't it? Because if you've got a free press then in order to survive, they need to be entertaining and make money. So they need to put these things that are going to sell papers out there. But then they also give voice to lunatics.
Yes. Well, I mean, there could be good news on the horizon. We think it's going to be Kanye West versus Donald Trump in 2020, but it could be Oprah versus Donald Trump. I think she's put her hand up slightly. I mean, how would an Oprah... Well, I mean, everyone loves Oprah, right? I mean, who doesn't like Oprah?
Yeah, Oprah would be great. I think that if you're going to have a celebrity on one side, you might as well battle it out with another celebrity, and at least Oprah would have a much more grounded kind of policy base, I guess.
She'd give free shit away. She'd be up there like, I'm your president. You're getting a car. You're getting a car. Everyone in America is getting a car.
Yeah, except let's hope those cars are, you're getting health care, you're getting universal education.
You're getting a job. I mean, it's interesting. I mean, I love how people complain about, like, celebrities running, but I mean, it's not. I mean, celebrities are people too. Celebrities can have political opinions, and some celebrities, I'm sure, are probably going to be very good at doing what they do. I mean, just because you're an actor, I mean, how many lawyers do we have as politicians, and how many, all these other professions, and they don't necessarily do the best thing. I mean, what qualifications for a politician really doesn't mean you can't not be a celebrity beforehand.
Yeah, I think it's more just, people look at celebrities as being people who are quite self-involved. Obviously, they're got into a profession that has a reputation of being quite a self-obsessed kind of culture. Whereas people who are lawyers and whatever might be seen as, people that are a little bit more altruistic, probably have a general understanding of government and how laws and legislation works. But look at like Ronald Reagan. He's the poster boy for the Republican Party. Trickle down economics and everything, and he was an actor. Come on.
I mean, look, I don't know too much about Californian politics, Paul, but I'm sure, I mean, Schwarzenegger wasn't really considered much of a Trump, was he? I mean, he did all right.
Yeah, well, he was a Republican, I guess, but he didn't really do anything too...
California still exists. There's no wall.
He was elected in California, so to have a Republican governor in California is a pretty big deal.
Yeah. Exactly. So, well, there you go. I mean, look, Oprah might not be a bad thing. Who knows? We'll see how it plays out. Before we let you go, anything else happening that you want to mention or talk, or just whatever?
I just remembered the thing I saw with George Bush as well, and how people were starting to think, oh, George Bush, he's calling out Donald Trump, making a lot of sense. When George Bush is the voice of reason, you're in a pretty shitty spot. This is the war criminal, kills 160,000 innocent people, and somehow he's the angel in this situation.
You really don't feel that in like 10 years' time, when Trump's not president, that this is going to be a thing where people are like, oh, that was just Donald.
Bring back Trump. They're going to be.
I mean, unless Kanye West does get in, and it's, I don't know, but like, I mean, who I don't want to say this because I'm going to jinx the universe, but who could be worse than Trump?
Kanye.
Kim Kardashian? Oh, God. I just felt a shudder. Anyway, it's fun. We hopefully won't go 2 weeks without doing this again, but sure, we'll get you on next time and we'll do this again.
Yeah, it's always good to have a rant.
Always my favourite time to press this button.
It's that time of the week to play everybody's favourite game show. It's Forget the Lyrics! Here on the Brink on Edge Radio. Over to the studio.
I love it. Get excited. Don't even need to talk too much about it. It's Forget the Lyrics. Yes, classic 2010. We're going back to that year. Anthony wasn't on the show for that long when he did Forget the Lyrics. This is one of those rare exceptions that he did it. Let's be honest, he was crap at it. But this was him and myself performing the Britney Spears classic Baby One More Time, talking about tax reform, apparently. So let's listen to it. Do I have to say the word karaoke? Alright. The tax reform is really cool. I put money on it and it makes me get more back. When I put it in, I see that it is good. Gillard's moving us forward with it. More money on the tax system
tick your boxes and submit it, cause it's gonna bring you lots of dosh. My money troubles are worrying me. Oh yes, I really want to get more back from the miners. I want more money from those bigger companies because they are rich than me. Give me more money, Anthony. Your time to sing. Go.
What's the thing?
You're singing. Straight tax reform. Go.
Oh Jesus, where am I? Oh, tax reform. Boy, you got. Oh, no, it's another one. Tax reform is Tony Abbott. What he wants to do. Tax reform, 10%, 10% is by company tax.
Keep going.
Is what we all have here. Tax reform. Tax reform is really it's really awesome. Tax reform. Why are we singing this? Give me a sign. Tax reform is this song now.
Yeah, I kind of told you he wasn't very good, and I think I just proved that point right there. Time to close it out for another episode. Unlucky episode 13, but we'll be back for episode 14, hopefully next week, not 3 weeks later as it is. But just exciting to announce other projects and side projects. You heard me sort of tease a little bit before when talking with Josh. This week we're soft launching, I guess you would say, a little project we're doing called the Oz Network. Now, many people familiar with our other projects, Survivor Oz, 007, Your Oz Vision, lots of Oz's in the titles, things like that. But this one's kind of a collective of just a variety of interests, focusing on movie and TV. And this week we're going to be it's kind of like Survivor Oz 2.0. We've abandoned Survivor Oz. Survivor Oz is no more, but Survivor will be formed as part of the Oz Network, a weekly recap on it, and other TV shows and other movies will follow along the line. So we will post details about that on our channels. You'll see it. So subscribe, get involved. If you like my voice, if you like our other voices that you hear in this show and stuff we talk about, then you will definitely enjoy that. If you like this show, which I know you do, you're listening to it clearly, then subscribe to us on iTunes, your relevant podcast provider. Remember, subscribing is the easiest way to get these episodes direct to your speakers. You can, of course, leave us feedback, leave us a rating. We always appreciate those, of course. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter, stay up to date with everything. And big shout out as well to our podcast provider at Wooshka. If you want to start a podcast, go to Wooshka. They're great, they're awesome, easy to deal with, and easy to set up a podcast. We'll be back next week, as I said, hopefully not in a couple of weeks again, but we'll see how we go. Thank you for listening to episode 13 of the Brink podcast. In the meantime, keep sucking those oranges, Hobart, and good night.